Hello, everyone. Tech Stack here, changing the music. Get something random. There we go. More random. Sure. So since last night, we took and modified the code a bit more. We're now formatting it a little cleaner, let's put it that way, and we now have it looking like this, right? So we can go into Minecraft, right click a block, shift right click another block, and do this command here, and it scans out to a file that looks like this, right? So we get our width, or some header information, right? So we know what we're looking at, right? So this is intended to be human readable. You probably could edit it if you really want to, but it's not needed. Width, height, and depth. So there's our dimensions of this area that we scanned, the X, Y, and Z coordinates of the block in question, if it's a full block or if it's a partial block, the block name, and the property size, right? I've taken out the part of the code that was basically replicating the block name as part of the properties. That's reduced the number of property lines that we have to deal with dramatically. Because most of everyone had one before, basically. Now we don't have to deal with that. So if it's sandstone, it's going to get a type sandstone, that type of thing. If it's a stair type, we're going to do the facing, the half, the shape, those type of things. I've then taken it into Blender and started writing up how to import this data, right? So I've created some functions, which is new for me in Python, but whatever, to process a block. And basically we're using arrays to store this information, or lists to store this information. So we're going to read a line, that's going to be our header line. We're going to read another line, that's going to be our size line, right? And we're going to split that into different pieces so we can get our dimensions out of it. Down here, you can see we're taking size 0, 1, and 2, which is our width, height, and depth, which correspond to those labels I just described, width, height, and depth. So we're taking these as an array and getting out the individual elements of it. We then read the other header lines, a couple headers right in there. Then we go into this loop here, which basically just reads another byte and starts processing the blocks, right? And we're stripping off any extra characters and splitting it up into the individual elements, right? We then, inside process blocks, look at the line that's passed in. Element 1 is the X, Y, and Z is 2 and 3. The third element then is whether or not it's a full block or it's a partial block, block name, and property count. Then I can go in to start actually creating the blocks. Now, all this said, let's just click the button and see what happens here, right? So I'm gonna select everything because I was doing some testing here. Let's go back into edit mode, select everything, delete, boom, hit the big button, and we get this shape, right? Because I've commented out something somewhere, I think. Something didn't like me. What was it? Oh, we did loop through all that stuff, didn't we? Okay. So what we've done up here at the top is created these objects to represent a full block, a half slab, and a stair. And I was going to use the copy methods to actually instantiate them into Minecraft. So this true piece is probably what's messing it up. I started adding that. So if it's a true... So let's get rid of that off here for now and run it again, because I did have this working earlier. Boom. And we get that shape that I've built in Minecraft. Right now it's setting everything, if it's a block, as a full block. Obviously we need to change that, and that's where I started building out the shapes that I want to use for a stair, the shapes I want to use for half slab, and so on. So from Minecraft to Blender with basically just a couple clicks. So let's do this. Let's do a big old T and an S. Awesome. Just like this, we'll grab that one as one corner, this one as the other. Oop. Shift right click and do scan test. Oop. Test. And in here, we'll run the script after deleting everything. Boom, there's our TS. So that's why I wanted to do this, guys, right? Ultimately, what I would like to do is pass in some variables to Blender itself. Basically, open the Blender file from Minecraft, pass in the script for the Python script from Minecraft. So basically, you type that command, it launches Blender, and you've got the thing in front of you in Blender. That's my ultimate goal in doing this. We'll see, though. So let's work on what I was working on right before I started the stream, which was the slabs. Let's get rid of this and just run it as is. We should get a few objects that are special names. We can get rid of all these ones that say cube. There's probably no easy way for me to do that. So block select all U, delete. Block select all U, delete. There we go. So we're left with one cube. Delete you. Full block is obvious what it's going to be, right? So it's a full block. No work there. Half slab appears to be right now. So we can get rid of that one. And the stair's pretty decent as well. So if we look at a stair shape, it's really just 1/4 split off, which is what I've got set up here. So I think we're good to go to start using these now that we've got the shapes defined. So we need to take this copy code and start using it instead of the code that instantiate a full block. If that makes any sense. Let's get our window nice and big here using shortcut keys in Blender. So we've got different objects defined for this, right? I probably should locate these somewhere else in the Blender file, like 500 up in the air. 500. And 500. Okay, there we go. That way they're up in the air and we can get rid of them later. They're going to be in the scene. I'm not sure yet how to delete them specifically by this region or area they're in or even name, because the way I'm going to do it is via copy, so it might be difficult. First thing we need to do is get the full block though, right? So full block should take this piece of code. Let's try this. We're going to define another one that's going to say create full block. If anyone's out there that knows Python, by the way, is it case sensitive on method names and function names and stuff? So if I say create full block with a mixed case, do I need to then type it mixed case somewhere else when I call it? I would assume it is, but you never know. This seems like a fairly basic programming language to me. So we're gonna need a location X, location Y, location Z, and we'll need a block, a type object. Well, if we do full block, then it doesn't matter. So the idea here is that we put the code inside this to create the block. So it'll be this, without the comments, of course. Go copy.location. So we're copying OB in this case, but we need to copy full block. And full block's data. And location equals X. Location Z. And location Y. And yes, those are purposely different from what it says. And then BPY scene contexts copy. Yep. Thank you for the fake donation. This is not my first stream. Okay. We've got it copied. And really we need to do the same type of deal for the other block types then, right? Like that and like that. And we need to say not full block, but half slab. GTA Rich Man. Create stairs. And really we just need to say stairs. And half slab. And in the case of half slab, we need to set the location well, let's just do it like this and make sure I'm right, but I think I'm gonna have to offset them, right, to where they should be located, the stairs. And then in the case of in the case of half slab, I have to offset it, but in the case of stairs, I will need to apply some level of rotation to it, and that level of rotation will be based on the properties, so we'll need to pass in the properties as well to it. And we'll go from there. Let's save this. We're going to call create block down here. Boom. And we can say cur X, Y, and Z. In XYZ order now, because we're correcting for it in the other piece. And let's zoom in so you guys can read this too, because I'm having trouble. We should no longer have to resize this because the object that we're copying is now the correct size. Let's get rid of all that. Save. And this is if it's not a block. It's interesting to me that the word true was not working for this before. TRUE. So we might need to print. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's print that as well, just so we get a look at what it actually has in it. It might have something funky in it. We might need to do a strip on it or something. Save. Control up. Save again. Run. Okay, we're creating lots of half slabs now. Okay, I did something wrong, right? I reversed the names. We know that half slabs work now. So full block should create a full block, and half slab should create the. There we go. So all delete, run script, boom. And somewhere out here we've got, you know, our extra ones we don't need. That's okay. So full blocks is working. Where's our slabs at? Oh, we don't have any. Scan a different area. So we need to scan like out to here. And here. Delete everything. Run script. There we go. Did we put a leg down there? Oh, we did. Okay, so now that we've got it in our file, we can look for the slab. It's per slab. So I'm just going to use that by default for now. So if block name is equals that, so we do else if. Else if, there we go. So we will create a slab. Just like that. Or if it's stairs, else if block name equals, or is, I'm sorry. Is the equals tool in Python. Create stairs at that location. Okay, we saved. Let's delete everything. Run the script. And we get errors. Okay, so let's look at our console. None of these are trying to read from the file, so we're sure okay there. What is the error? Line 81. If block name is purpose stairs, syntax invalid. So it doesn't like the else if. So let's look up the Python scripting else statement. Python else if. There we go. EL if. Elif. We have nothing in the scene. Run the script. There we go. Now I'm not seeing the slabs or the... Yeah, everything's a full block basically, right? So why is that? I really don't know. Is it because we linked the objects and it's constantly overwriting the previous link? That would stink. Let's always create stairs, just temporarily. Make sure that we can create stairs. Yeah. Okay, create stairs creates a slab. Right? Why is it creating slabs? I mean, that is a stair definition there, and we're naming it stairs. 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 Copy does get set anything to up here. Same there and there. We can actually get rid of these. It says it's stairs, but it doesn't look very stair-like. Yeah, okay. So something's happening in the creation of the stair itself. So to combat that, let's not create anything else. Delete those. Run the script. And it says it fails. Interesting. Oh, probably because we're... Print 1. I'm just printing something so that the function's a valid function. Okay, so stairs is just a block again. Interesting. It's also not in the location I would expect it to be. It should be way up in the air. So we toggle edit mode on, we toggle edit mode off. We didn't have edit mode on before. We're toggling edit mode back off. We're resizing it, adding a cube. Let's see, is there any error messages? Nope. I did set up a clear the screen statement in here as well, so that every time I run this, the console is cleared out somewhere in here. I did it. Yeah, right there. So the word false is coming across as a false. The word true is coming across as a true. Not sure why the comparison didn't work before when I put it here, but I'll deal with that soon enough. Rest of our mesh data is up there. That is the problem. Oh, come on. Yep, okay, so okay, we know what the problem is. When we create the cube, we are creating it at that location. We need to put it up there with it. So it was technically working. It's just that the object was split over 500 blocks apart. Run the script. We now get a stair that looks like a stair. Mostly. It did not move itself up like it should have. Reside translate along that axis. No. 0.5 maybe. Come on, select everything, delete, save, run the script. That's the wrong axis, yeah. 0.25 is right. Translate 0.25 up. We want to go 0.5 up then. That looks more like it. Okay, so now if we come back down here, save, run. Everything is a stair. Okay. And if we say create half slab on the things that should be slabs, stairs on the things that should be stairs, and full blocks on the things that should be full blocks. Save, run script, delete those, run script. Okay, we're getting everything as a full block. But why? Let's do this. Oops. Copy stairs, copy slab, copy full block. That way we're sure that we're not linking to the other set of objects, is what I'm thinking in the back of my mind. Okay, and we will need to do full block and half slab and stairs. Select all, delete, and down here we can go back to saying full block again. Run. It's all full blocks. Ah! It's very, very true what it's doing. So we need to just specify a name. If it's sandstone. It is that. Okay, we get nothing now. So there's something wrong with our way that block name is set up. So let's print block name to the log. Minecraft air, Minecraft sandstone. Do I have the correct parentheses or single quotes around the if statement? String. Python is variable equal to string. String comparison. Python string comparison can be performed for using the equality, so equals equals. So there is no is in this case. Back and forth between the settings. Run. There we go. Now we've got stairs where stairs need to be, we've got slabs where slabs need to be, and we've got full blocks where full blocks need to be. Now, what I'm seeing here is that our slabs are offset and our stairs are offset from where they need to be. So we need to adjust for that. It's probably because they're created at a slightly different location up in the sky. So what happens to that? We need to move them down, right? In order to do that, we need to change the z coordinate by negative, not a half, probably a quarter. So I grab this, move it into z by negative 0.25. Grab z, negative 0.25. Numlock. That's correct. So minus 0.25. Everything, run the script. Ah, not Z. This Z. Like, because Z in Blender is different than Z in Minecraft. Okay. There we go, grab the wrong one. Perfect. That's what there is to it. Now, I think the other piece I need to do is pass in the number of properties about the block. And we'll handle property setup inside the create block stuff. So create stairs, create half slab, create full block. Because that's going to drive the rotation, orientation of the block. And we'll go from there. So let's pull this out of here. We will... process it here. I don't want to duplicate the code too much, but I think I kind of have to. That or I pass property count and a complete set of properties. Property pairs, a tuple. Process property. What we got for that? Process property. Okay. What if we did the rotations here? So we said if so key is going to equal line dot strip dot split, and we're going to split on the semicolon. Boop, boop. There we go. And value is going to equal line dot strip dot split. Oh, wait. KV pair equals that, and then we'll say KV pair 0, KV pair 1. Okay. And basically we need to loop through all properties doing this, which we already are. So we first need to get what the property is. If it's type, we can ignore it. So if facing, so if key facing, we do this, rotate along, rotate Z, and we'll get the facing value. Let's just do facing value. So we're going to define facing value as that, and it's going to take in value and say if value equals north, then we're going to rotate the block, the selected block, however many, right? Hey, thank you, Peter, for the raid of 6. That's awesome, man. How does your stream go as I stretch? That's what's wrong. So I need the colon there. And this is going to be some rotation value from Blender. So let's just take this object here, rotate along the z-axis 90 degrees. And it's this. What? That did not rotate by 90. It rotated by 1 point whatever. Rotate Z 90. Wow. Quite well. Got a lot done. I'll be tweeting the progress I made later. I go to the hot tub. What a way to end. Straight to the hot tub. Apparently a 90-degree rotation is 1.5. That's interesting. So copy that. We're going to paste that. I said copy you. Oh. So Blender's got this weird selection system that carries over into the code section up there. Yeah, it does sound like it's radians or something, doesn't it? What is... I don't remember my math from before. Pi, so degrees to radians. So yeah, there we go. So 90 degrees, 1.57. There you go. Perfect. We don't want it on that axis, we want it along the z-axis. Strain axis. Yeah, you're like mathematical brain. Straight orientation. We don't need all this extra stuff. Just leave it at the defaults, whatever we've set. So if the facing value is north, we're going to rotate 90. Now, my degrees are probably going to be off on this. I am taking a guess. In fact, north may not even need to be anything. I am highly guessing at this point. So, let's get the rest of these pasted in here. If, or elif, value equals east, EAST, do that, and we rotate by another set of, so 180, giving us that. Okay. Elif value equals south. So Andrew, do you know what I'm doing here? I am coding in Blender. So if it's west. So wait a minute. We did 90, 180, 270. This would be 0 then, right? Because that'd be a full rotation for the fourth one. You're taking Minecraft level data and turning it into a bunch of blocks in Blender. Exactly. So I've got that functionality working, right? That's how I built this crazy thing. Except for rotations and things like that, which is what I'm working on right now. So this odd shape I built in Minecraft, I scanned it in, ran a command. I click 2 blocks, ran a command, hit run now, and then it adds all the blocks in Blender. It's literally as quick as I just set it to get it to work. My ultimate goal will be when I run the command scan, I will have configs that point to the location of your Blender file, that will point to the Blender executable and point to the Blender Python script that it's going to run, and run it from the command line for you. So you type this command and Blender just pops up with your data in it. That's the idea. Okay. I think we just need to test this. I don't know what the rotations need to be. I am guessing. I'm assuming north is probably the correct default value for Minecraft and Blender. So, calling facing, if it's facing. I think it's time to test. So, select everything, get rid of it all, run the script, and we air off. Line 82. Oh, because we didn't have anything here. A equals 1. Need something there after the if statement. This is a placeholder till I can get the code worked out. Line 99. Down here. I think that's all it's complaining about. Okay. Let's see. So line 84. Attribute list object has no attribute strip. Why did I do a split twice, basically, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, this split here isn't needed at all. or the strip. It just needs to pass in byte. There we go. Okay, now our rotation either didn't work, is set incorrectly, which is probably likely, or something like that. So what are the rotational values that we're getting in here for these? Because they're all facing the same direction. Ooh. Process property. So I'm going to print in facing. In facing didn't come up. Oh, it did. Okay. Is that concatenation key value? Nope. This board types for and, so what is concatenate? Is it just a plus? Must be. Yeah. Thank you. I've yet to use Python. Like, this is my first with Python, so. That's why I don't know the in facing north, so it tried to rotate. Right? Let's try this. In rotate north. South. Okay, so why didn't this equal this? It's because we've got a space. Can I fix that by splitting like that? We'll see. Get rid of everything so we can see what the new ones look like. We've got an error. Index out of range. Oh. Well, our stair's not there. That stair's not there. Is it our rotational like global versus whatever? I might need to get all this constraint orientation stuff back. Seems to me like it rotated, but it rotated like funny, right? It rotated from the Z, from the origin or something. Let's constrain that. Mere false. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Proportional shouldn't matter. Proportional fall off shouldn't matter. Proportional size shouldn't matter. Okay. Save. Oh yeah. Control up. Save. Boom. Rid of all of them. Still rotated funny. It's like it's shifting the position of them. Select the rest of these, I guess. Put them in there just to see what's... Come on. See what's up this way. Save. Do we need to be in edit mode for it to work? So let's see, toggle edit. I think it is something like that. Right there. toggle the edit mode on, toggle it off. Rotated different for sure. Let's rotate. Rotate Z 90. Yeah, all my constraints and everything are the same. Let's do this. Constraint axis true false global. Mirror mode false disabled proportional smooth and 1. We are hitting rotate north, right? They are. Okay, let's do this. Which one's facing north? That's facing south, south, north, and north. Okay, so it's the one by the tail here. Let's go ahead and scan this again. So we get a fresh file without those other ones in there so we aren't distracted by them in trying to get the north section to work. Okay, so they're in there. It is only rotating a portion of it. Yeah, what's going on? I thought the rotation stuff was going to be pretty, somewhat easy. I thought it was going to be harder when I started flipping them to be upside down and things like that. Did not expect this kind of stuff on it though. Oops. It's rotating around its center point. Let's keep this one here. So I'm gonna all unselect that one, delete all this, run this again without the rotate command. So we'll comment that piece out. And that is our original rotation, right? This was the other one. It's rotating not by the origin of the I want to call it a game object. It's not a game object. So select that one, select that one, and delete. So we've got these two, right? And if we go into top view, this one's moved around the center point of the world. This one didn't rotate at all. To me, this isn't even a 90-degree turn, though. So it's like it did... Rotate Z 90. 90. So it's still saying global. Let's try copying that one in. Okay. And run the script. Oh, script failed. Space text editor object has no attribute pivot point. Even though that's what the code that Blender actually used up here. This is. So the idea is I build in Minecraft just to place the blocks, convert it into Blender, then Blender uses the used to create 3D models that I actually import into Unity for it. So here's another Blender where I did the existing Demon Depths geometry. So that game that I demoed the other day, I was able to get it in here like this. But it only considered a full block, right? It's considered everything as a full block, so it was very limited. They're also stored in a different file format, which is easier to process in some ways. Doesn't contain as much information. So we gotta hit the air there on that one line. Come on, get right back to the right Blender now. Let's make sure we fix the air. I didn't take it out, that's why. So object mode. So active element is still an option. Space data pivot. It's weird that it says that's the code that gets executed, but it's not. Okay. Blender, Python, pivot, point. I'll set the cursor location, pivot point, and script. Rotate, pivot, point. Transform, rotate, ignores pivot point. There are a number of B-mesh operations that can be used for this transformation. Here's an example. I don't want to do it on the mesh though. Well, you can tell. You convert it to radians, that's cool. Center override. No, center override appears to be new. It explains why I haven't used it before. Check the documentation of Blender you're using. Confirm it's in 2.8. I am in what? 2.7.7. Okay. For the most part, transformation just doesn't use operators. We'll try. Mainly because I'm running out of ideas. Nope, some error. Center override unrecognized. I don't know if you knew this, but blocks were... It's flipped over. You need axis to be 0, 1, 0, 0. Get it flipped over. Right, and that's what I would do next is the flipping them over. So right now, there's two attributes in a Minecraft block for like a stair. There's facing, which gives its rotation along what in Minecraft is the y-axis, but in Blender it's the z-axis, and it's half the top or bottom piece. There's the third one that determines its shape, which is a whole nother animal I'm about to deal with too. Yeah, exactly. It's rolling, y'all, right? The constrained axis piece doesn't make a lot of sense to me either, because that's which axis it's rotating along, but yet you've got this to say which axis you're rotating along as well. Let's make it super simple and just say axis. Save. Delete everything. Run script. We should get... Now what? 73. Oh. A one too many times. It's funny because this one's out of position, but this one's not. That one's rotated in place. And it looks like it should be rotated by this amount. So let's do that. So this one would need to be this amount then. And then this one should be none. A equals 1. And then the last one, the west, should be the 90. Right? Sure. Where'd our window go that we had the... See, that one's right. Like, in the right spot, still. It's nowhere near the origin either. Go back to Miencraft real quick. Make sure they're both rotated the same way. That's north. That's north. Right. Right. It's rotating along a different axis altogether, but yet the other one is... Or a different pivot point, I should say. But the other one is rotating correctly. Let's do this. Let's scan a different area of the world. So we got one facing that way, one facing that way. That way, and that way. Real obvious what they should be, right? This way. We'll scan from there to there with my little wand. Scan test. Read the file here. Purple stairs everywhere. Yep, cool. I am facing to the south. And the south stair. We'll concentrate on the south stair first. The south stair will be the one that has two things beside it. Oh gosh. Which one's the south stair? Oops. Scan. Okay, so that should be rotated in such a way that it's oriented like this. Did we rotate it at all? It doesn't look like it did. It's facing south. Which south we're saying is shouldn't rotate at all right now, but I think it needs to rotate. And it needs to rotate, I guess, in this direction. It needs to be rotated 90, so I need to do this on south. Okay. So delete all. Run script, and we get an error because I didn't do A equals 1. We got south working. Okay. Now, let's make it face another direction. Let's make it face north. I know, right? North is incorrect, but that's fixed by not rotating at all, right? No. That's a 90-degree rotation, so it should be a 180. No, a 270. Keep me honest if 270 is the wrong number. My numlocks keeps getting hit. 4.7. And that makes sense because it's off from 90 degrees from where it should be. Okay, so north is working. Why was it rotating around a different point, though? Is it the rotations are stacking? Like we rotate the thing and then it's placing based on the new rotation? Kind of like a GL render would do? You place, you know, in GL renders, if you didn't pop and push your matrix correctly, your rotations stack, right? So if you rotate then translate, your position that you're rotating off of is already rotated. But if you translate then rotate, it's a completely different scenario, right? Let's try the other directions. Let's get them all set. So we'll do facing west next. I guess we won't know if it's right. West, run. So if this was south, right? That is west. And south is... South was like that, so we're like that. Well, there's no pop and push in this, though. Yeah. That was west, so it should be to the left. I think that's correct. And then east is not going to be that. It's got to be the 3? Because this is 0. That's 1. There's the 3 number. Whatever the 3 number was. Was it 180? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Because that'd be the exact opposite of the other number. Okay, so let's, that should just flip around when we do this. Okay, now what happens if we do 2? It should be in this location when we're done. Facing the same orientation. And it is not! And the rotations of both of them are broken. They're both rotated. Frick! It's not push pop. Is this rotating the object or the mesh underneath the object? So right now this has a rotation of 0. This has a rotation of 0. We are facing to the east, which should have a rotation. Let's put a third one in and I bet it goes back. Yep, they're facing in the right direction. Not sure why that one's shifted positions. We'll deal with that in a minute. So what's happening here is these all share the same mesh data. That's a way to make it faster. I might just get rid of that for stairs though. So basically we're taking a copy of the slab that we're creating to begin with and working with the copy and linking the objects together so they're one set of data instead of multiples. Let's try and get rid of the copy portion of it and see what happens. It might blow up in my face even worse than I got right now. Okay, didn't do anything. They are rotated correctly though. Okay, so let's do 2. Run script. They're facing incorrect. Because I'm thinking the transform data carries over from each object. Well, possibly. But I think it has more to do with the fact that they're linked still. And that was only half slabs. I didn't get stairs. No wonder it didn't work. Half slabs won't really matter. Save, run. Cool, we don't get them at all. Because it didn't actually link it in. Good grief. So the alternative to that is to set all of this, do all these commands. It's going to be more time intensive, but I'm not building massive sections with this right now. Crap. So let's do this. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna put it into create stairs after I copy out that as well, just in case I need it back. We'll just comment it out. Save. So now our location is all screwed up. So we need this to be there. In theory, that should work though. Okay, so we've got another one that's saying 500 somewhere right there. It's back to 0. Why are they not on the same object anymore? We're in edit mode. We're not in edit mode. We're toggling into edit mode. We're resizing it. We're adding another cube in edit mode. Resize, translate, resize, resize, translate, and toggle edit mode off. So this create stairs shouldn't be done after the rotate, right? Create stairs. We are processing the properties of the stair first. So we're actually doing the rotation before we created the object. I want to check something, because that might have been the issue all along. Wait, we don't want to do. We do want to do that, because the linked objects like shouldn't matter. The rotation of each individual object should be able to be different. It's the mesh that's the same. They're all oriented in the same direction now. Put a fourth one in there. It's going to go back the other direction though, right? Oops. Oh, that's cool. I don't remember deleting that stuff, but it deleted. What in the world? Like, it's behaving like we described, right? The rotation is affecting the translation, but that's not how Blender normally works. Let's go back to just one. Get rid of all these. Run it. It's not in the correct location. Let's check this. We are in object mode. If I rotate along the z-axis 90 degrees, it is ops transformation. If I do it in edit mode, select all, rotate 90 degrees that way, it is transform rotate. Both are the same. This one and this one are the same. If it's in edit mode or not. Okay. If we do this in edit mode, save, and we select all, delete them, and T to get rid of all this, and T to get rid of extra junk, get some screen space back. Boom. Why is it going there? Blender, Python, rotate, changes location. That's how you get it. I don't want to get it, I want to set it. Just tried to find anything. That might be the issue. We're not getting both matrices. Maybe it only does one in Python. That'd be really weird, like if it overrides completely. Rotate and translate. How do you translate followed by rotation? How do I translate followed by rotate followed by translate? Yeah, everybody's using matrices to do it. Rotate object Euler. Oh, wait. This is it. That's it. So before we do that, we need to update the scene. So what if in here we said bpy.context .scene .update. Am I doing wrong? Oh, extra. Where'd I type the A? Okay. I know what it is. Tech Stack needs to read how to rotate things properly in Blender and stop assuming that this is the proper way. So there's an API docs for this stuff. I wish I would have saved it earlier today because I had it open. Blender Python API 7.9, sure, close enough. What is it? Ops, ship, transform, operations, and then we are rotating. Rotate. Snap point. What's snap point? Float of 3 items. It doesn't really give much information about it. Nice. Constraint orientation, optional. Orientation, transformation, orientation. Constraint, orientation. It's set to global. Okay, and we just got an error. Orientation is not found in global, local, normal, gimbal, and view. Okay, why did it say orientation or transform orientation then? Let's try local. I don't think it's gonna work though. Scroll up. Delete. Run. Did this one okay. Not that. Let's look at the stair, the original stair object, which is going to be way up here. It's not rotated. Funny, really. It's not at 0, 0, though. And it's at 1, 1, 500. Even though we spawned it in at 0. It's been moved. One, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1. Where are you? Oh. Boom. Start over. 120. It's too easy to add crap here. Blender sends the input of what you're typing to the window that your mouse is over, not the window you've clicked on last. It's fun. Come on, focus on anything. Why is it not? Yeah, delete you. Delete you. Delete you. Okay, so Shift C. There we go. Like, I have no problem with rotate to where it needs to rotate, place the block, rotate it, rotate back. If that lets us put the next block in the right place, but it's not. It's rotating, it's applying the rotation to everything. At least it seems like it. Okay, let's do this. Delete these. Delete everything. Let's full screen this one. I'm going to use regular Blender stuff for a moment. I'm going to go add a cube. And I'm going to... Come on. I'm going to add another one. Okay, so these are two different cubes with two different mesh datas. If I go in... Oh gosh, there's all sorts of cubes in here. Okay, so this is cube 12067. This is cube 12068. If I say on 6.8, use the data from 6.7, they're both the same object, basically, right? When you go into edit mode. Any changes I make to this one makes a change to the other one. They're using the same data behind the scenes. So if we rotate this one 90 degrees, it doesn't impact the other one, which is what I wanted to do. But it's not working that way. Okay, if we're in edit mode and we had everything selected, which isn't necessarily the truth, it does impact them both. And it's impacting them based on the median point between the two, which seems to be what's happening. It's like it's rotating in edit mode. So let's count this out. Or can we specify which mode we're in specifically? If I go to object mode, it just toggles edit mode, really? It does whatever's needed to get it into the right one. Awesome. So if I hover over this, there. So I can go BPY ops object mode set mode equals object. In this one we go bpy.ops object mode or object.mode set. Right? Mode equals object. Is it single quote or double? Single. So we're gonna force this to do this rotation in object mode. And delete everything. Make sure yeah, it's making sure that I wasn't placing it wrong somehow. Okay, so let's go down to here and force this into object mode as well. Or we start processing the blocks. I want to make sure we are in object mode the entire time. No impact. Come on, Blender, I don't want to have to deal with the vertex matrices. Blender, Python, rotate, and translate. Even I spelled it wrong. Bones through script. Rotate objects around their origin along the global axis. That's what I want to do. Skip to last paragraph. Awesome, dude. So, you need the yeah. Order is important. To alter it and add an extra global rotation, we need to sneak that rotation matrix before mat rotation, so it's applied last in the global space after the location. Do we just need to rotate this before we place it and then place it, set the location afterwards? I think that's kind of what it's saying. I'm going to take a guess here and just try it that way. So we would basically spawn these in not at this location. Actually, there's no auto-completeness. Crap. What is this? It's an object. bpy.context.object. So there is a location on this. Is there a rotation then?
Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Won't you all
Clock editing the rotation in the interface. No.
tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long, want you all night, 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 want you all night.
Yeah. So we don't want to set the location. We want to set the location later, but we already got this set up. So what if we process the data for rotations inside those? We wouldn't have f.readline in there. Or a file.
Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now feeling lost without you, and I just can't be
Location,
without you, baby.
rotation quaternion, and scale vector. Now about rotations. A rotation is comprised of either a 3x3 or a 4x4 rotation matrix, Euler matrix class and blender, or a quaternion matrix class and blender, or an axis vector 3, or an axis vector of size 3. With rotation values in radians or degrees, they can all be converted between each other, but we need the 4x4 rotation matrix. There's a different options to get it. Transformations are done on matrix multiplication, and they can be stacked. The order in which they are multiplied is important. So, okay, means we will transform with mat C, then B, then A. It's reversed. All the transforms are applied in global space. Here you can see what it looks like to do translation times rotation and rotation times translation. Yeah, we want to do... I'm not sure which one's which. We want to do this, right? So we want to rotate it, then put it out in space. The first end result is we can substitute the local global translation and then local rotation. We did local already, didn't we? Yeah. That's the constraint, though. This means if matrices are rotation matrices, only the first rotation matrix and last applied will result in the global space rotation, because all these are influenced by it. I'm sure this guy knows what he's talking about, but this is confusing the crap out of me. Rotate around the global Z. Object rotation Euler 2 matrix times matrix rotation math.pi 3 Z. Does not make sense to me. It's amazing at all that, because we're rotating first on that first one. Wait a second, did I just figure it out? We're rotating on the first one. Then we're putting it in position. We're never going back on that rotation. And we're pasting a second one after rotating again. Do we need to undo the rotation? So let's do this. We're going to create a global variable, and this is going to be my last try. I've got to get off here. Inverse rot equals, we'll say 0. And we're going to say down here, inverse rotation is going to be negative 4.71239, or whatever this number is. Okay. And this one's going to be 0. And then we're going to create a new definition, def reverse rot. Don't need to pass anything to it. I do need to type the right keys on my keyboard though. We're going to do that by the inverse amount. And we're going to say reverse rotation down here. And we're also going to say, where's our loop at for this whole mess? Oh, we're in process block. Okay. So at the very top of process block. So this would be a good spot for it. So inverse rot equals 0 as well. That way we're sure it's always zeroed out if there's no rotation on that particular block. Got an E in there, but that's fine. Okay, so boom. Boom. Script failed. Line 94. Why'd you fail? Invalid syntax. Of what? Okay, it didn't fix it. Back to Minecraft. Yeah, didn't fix it. So we rotate, created the block, and then reverse it back out. I thought maybe that would fix it, because the first one's always right? So if we were to have just one of these, it's going to face to the north. So we are doing it in the correct orientation. Let's see. Can we confirm that's to the north? Please. With it rotating all funny, it's gonna be off.
Yeah, stop hitting it on that window, Blender.
Save. Run script. Let's see if these move. I bet they do. They do not. This whole thing is mirrored. This is mirrored. So I'm looking at it like this, right? We just got rid of the extra block. It was here. This is mirrored. This is off. Let's do that, right? And we'll put a slab over there. Scan. Okay, is this the correct orientation? I'm just confusing myself at this point. Good night, everybody. I'm just confusing myself. I'm done. Have fun. Good night. Bye-bye. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm just burnt out on this. I will try again tomorrow.